What's up, guys? This is Brent with Western Equipment. Let's go ahead and start talking about this John Deere 334P. Now, the 334P is going to be a part of the new segment of skid steers that John Deere had released in 2024. So the 334P is going to be the big guy in the wheeled machines. So we have done a video over the tracked machine, the 335P, that is going to match up pretty well identical to this. So if you are interested in seeing that, I'm going to go ahead and drop that down in the description below so that you can check that out. But let's go ahead and start talking about some of the things on the 334P. For one, it is going to be the largest horsepower of any John Deere skid steer in the entire lineup at 118 horsepower at the engine here. So it is going to be the largest that has ever been made from John Deere. Some other things that are going to be upgraded with this 334P as opposed to the G series machines that came before it is you are going to have many upgrades on the cooling system at the back. So what I'm talking about is sometimes these machines in the past had a tendency to overheat whenever we got into those really hard working conditions. That has been improved on these P tier machines. There have been additional cooling units put in these machines, and the existing ones have been made just a little bit larger to get more cooling to those fluids and to the engine. You're also going to have an upgraded hydraulic system. So before, the hydraulic system was one that was based off of the RPMs of your engine. This is pretty typical among most manufacturers and equipment, but in this new P tier series machine, you are going to have what's called a PCLS system, or a pressure compensated load sensing system. So what this means is that as the machine's working, depending on what task you're doing, whether you are just simply raising up loads here with the loader, or if you are working your auxiliary hydraulics with an attachment here at the front that requires those auxiliary hydraulics, the machine is going to change its hydraulic output depending on the load that it is sensing coming from the system. So that is where that pressure compensated load sensing hydraulic system comes from. So no longer are the days where you have to worry about having your throttle all the way cranked up all the time to make sure you are getting the hydraulic pressure that you need, because with this PCLS system, this machine is going to be able to figure out where it needs to be hydraulically to make sure that you are the most efficient in getting that task done with the right amount of hydraulic pressure. Going along with that new hydraulic system, what you're also going to see here at the quick attach, here at the front coupler where we're going to be hooking up our bucket or any of those front end attachments, you are going to see a more beefed up coupler here in the front, meant to handle more attachments and heavier attachments here in the front. You're also going to see a change here in your hydraulic couplers. So what you are going to see is a set of standard duty couplers and a set of high flow couplers, both on the front of this machine, and a case drain along with both of our electrical outlets here. So that no matter what type of attachment you are looking for, whether you are running something that is high flow or standard flow, you are going to have the couplers here to be able to fit it. And you're also going to have those electrical hookups to be able to run anything that has an electrical component on it on the attachment. Now, speaking of our standard flow and our high flow couplers, what you are going to see pressure wise is you are going to see 25 gallons per minute whenever we are in standard flow, or 44 gallons per minute whenever we are in high flow. So just make sure that whatever those attachments are, whenever you are adding those to the front of this machine, that you know what type of rates your machine is putting out here at your auxiliary hydraulics, so that you make sure and have enough flow for that attachment. Now, the biggest change on these machines is adding that extra horsepower. So like I said before, we have moved up to 118 horsepower on this engine. It is still going to be a Yanmar engine on these machines, and we can raise up the hood right here to be able to get underneath to see such things as our diesel fill. We're going to be able to see some of our cooling units here on top. Then we're also going to be able to see our overflow tank there for our radiator, our engine oil fill, and our dipstick, along with our hydraulic fill right back here. And then over on the side of the machine, once we get that boom raised up and out of the way, and from the back here, we can see our hydraulic gauge right over here on the left hand side of the machine. Now, this is not the only access point that you are going to have to your engine. Once you go ahead and raise the boom up, you are going to be able to take off both of these side panels over here. We are going to be able to see one of our fuel filters over here on the left, and also some of our cooling units over here. Then if we go over to our right hand side, once again we are going to see more of those engine components and another cooler over here on the right hand side, showing you that there are plenty of cooling units on this machine to make sure to be keeping not only our engine cool but also our hydraulic oil, making sure that this machine is going to last and going to function the way it's supposed to when you need it. Now you're also going to have the option of having a reversing fan on this machine. This is going to be huge to be able to blow dust and debris off of this rear screen. And this rear screen has also been redesigned with these slats here to make it a little bit easier for material to come in and filter through, or to be able to be blown off of this screen whenever we turn that reversing fan on. Now also over here on the right hand side, once we have this raised up, we can also take off our battery cover right over here. And then over on our left hand side, we are going to have our DEF fill right over here. Now of course, since this machine is over that 75 horsepower threshold, you are going to have DEF in this machine, so you do have that nice and sealed up over here on the left hand side. And then right up top here on top of our rear screen and frame right here, you are going to have your periodic maintenance chart. So whenever you are going around and doing that periodic maintenance on this machine, whenever you need to know what needs to be changed, when it needs to be changed, and the capacities, right here on the back, this will always be with you right here on the machine. Next, let's go ahead and talk about the wheels and tires on this machine. So what we have on this one here is going to be one of the pneumatic options. So you are going to have 3 pneumatic options for tires on this machine to be able to pick from. Now these are going to change depending on the lug pattern here on top and also the size of the tire, and this is all going to depend on what type of working conditions you're going to be in. So you have those 3 different options. There's also going to be an airless option that you can choose as well, and this is going to be one of those that if you are working in those conditions that you may have a lot of punctures or rips, tears, damages to your tires, this airless option may be the way to go. So just know that whenever you're ordering this machine, you have those 4 different options. Just like we were talking about our engine maintenance there at the back, you also have to keep in mind that on these skid steers, you are going to have maintenance from the back to the front, and this is mainly going to have to do with greasing. These P-tier machines are going to have pretty well the same exact grease points as the old G-series machines had, and I actually have a video on greasing the G-series machines that I will go ahead and put down in the description below so that you can check that out. But the main thing that you need to look at is anywhere that this machine pivots, anywhere that it has a cylinder, those are going to all have pivot points, so we need to be making sure and checking those grease points and greasing those regularly so that this machine stays in good working condition all year long. Probably the second biggest change to these P-tier machines is going to be the cab. Not only the cab configuration, but also the fact that the cab now is all one piece. So what I mean is, before, the cab would actually split from the foot pan right here below the door, making it 2 separate pieces. So you could actually raise the cab up and then have to take this floor pan out to be able to get to the underside of the cab and the hydraulic motors and everything else underneath. Now this is a completely sealed unit that whenever you take the 2 side bolts out over here, you are going to raise this cab up from this handle here, and it's going to stay completely pressurized the whole time whenever you take it up and lean it back to be able to do all of that maintenance. Now, not only does that take out 1 step whenever you are doing any work underneath, but this is also going to make sure that the cab stays completely pressurized and keeps extra debris off of you whenever you are working with this machine. Now also on the inside, it has been completely redesigned. You're going to have more space in this cab, so you are going to have more headroom, more room side to side. But what didn't change is the outside width or height of the cab. So they changed things inside the cab, changed some of the plastic where it was placed, changed the seat for this newly redesigned seat that we're going to show you in just a minute, and lots of other really nice features. All right, so now let's go ahead and get in the machine here. First thing, go ahead and pull down the lap bar. We're going to go ahead and close it up, show you these features. First things first, we are going to reach up here to the right to our sealed switch module and go ahead and turn the machine on. So we're going to hit our green button 1 time to turn it on, and then hold it down to start the machine. Now, along with being able to turn the machine on from that sealed switch module, you are also going to have a variety of different features and functions that go with that. And as you can see, it is 5 across the top 5 down, that means 25 buttons that you can go through on this machine. So I have done a separate video to go over all of those for you that I will leave down in the description below. But just know that whenever you are looking at and needing to know what these functions mean, if you just look right up above you, right up here, it is going to show you exactly what each one of those buttons does. But if you want a more thorough breakdown of each one of those buttons, make sure to go check that video out down below in the description. Now next, up and over to our right, we are going to have our Bluetooth radio that can be controlled from the radio here or from our control panel right over here. This big LCD screen, you are going to have your music, phone, and alert buttons right there that you can use to make sure and control that radio, along with many other features and functions that go along with this machine. Now, just like the sealed switch panel, there is a lot that goes into that LCD screen, and I have done another video going over all the features and functions of it that I will also put down in the description below. Moving in front of that radio, you are going to have your backup camera over here in the left-hand corner post right up here. So as you can see, that backup camera is going to always be on. Whether you are parked, going forward, going in reverse, turning, whatever that is, that screen will be on. Now, you are not only going to have the option for that screen, but you're also going to have an option for a much larger screen. This is going to be an 8-inch display, much like the one in the top right, that can go over here. That is going to be in another package that you can add so that you have a larger backup camera system. And you can also even add the 270-degree camera to this machine, like I show in the 335p. So make sure if that is something that you're interested in, that you go and check out that 335p video. Now, moving to the front, you are going to have your wide opening front door here, and over here on the left, you're going to have these 2 orange handles. These are going to be your emergency release handles. So if you get in a bind and need to, you can flip these up and then actually push that door out and release it from your handle right here. And this is going to allow you to set that door down and out of the way so that you are able to escape. Now, you're also going to have this rear handle right back here so that you can escape out your rear glass. So if something is blocking you in the front, you can actually escape through the rear by undoing this top handle right back here, moving that rear glass, and then climbing to safety out that back window. Something else that you're going to see in these P-tier machines is going to be a redesigned joystick. So if we look down here at our joystick, this is going to be our right hand side. This is going to be completely redesigned from the G series, as well as our left-hand joystick right over here. Once again, there are a lot that go into these, so if you want to see the full breakdown on what exactly has changed over these 2 joysticks, I have another video showing you all of the breakdown features of that down in the description below. But for our purposes today, you just have to remember that your right-hand joystick is going to be for your boom and bucket functions, and your left-hand joystick is going to be for your driving functions. Now, keep in mind that if that is not the way that you are used to driving this machine, if that is what's called ISO pattern, so you are isolating your boom and bucket to one side and you're driving to the other, some people may be used to the H pattern. Now, the H pattern is going to be a pattern that you can choose up here in your sealed switch module, and it is going to be where your forward and backward functions are going to run your wheels. So your forward and backward on the right hand side would run your right hand set of wheels, and your forward and backward on your left hand side would run your left hand wheels, and then your in and out on your joysticks is what's going to run your boom and bucket. If that's what you're used to, you want to make sure and get the EH performance package with this machine to make sure that you can switch back and forth between ISO and H pattern. Now, down at your feet, you are going to have this one pedal right here. This is going to be our accelerator. So you can hear that right there whenever we're pushing on that pedal. And then you're also going to have an accelerator knob right up here. This is going to be our throttle. So this is going to set it constantly, or if we want to change that setting as we go, we have a pedal right down here. Like I said, this is a much roomier cab than we had in the G series. It's going to be hard to tell from the video here, but I am telling you that I have a lot more room here, and from Deere specs, you have 20% more glass all the way around this cab, which not only adds to the room and comfort that you have as an operator, but is also going to add to the visibility that you have whenever you are looking outside of this cab. And we know that whenever working in this machinery, visibility is key. We need to be able to see everything around us and be able to see to do the job that it's meant to do with this machine. So adding that extra glass and that extra room is all going to make a difference whenever you are using operating this machine. Now you're also, like I said, going to have your AC controls up here, so you are going to have AC vents here and here. You're also going to have vents right here that are going to be for your defrost on either side. To have a full climate experience, no matter if we are working in the cold or in the hot, you are going to be able to use this machine no matter what the weather is. Now, last question that always comes, what about price and warranty? Well, I can tell you that on these machines, just like any other machine, when you are going to price one of these out, you need to consider all of the different options that we talked about here in this video. You need to consider what you need to run your operation, if you are going to need other types of attachments and things to go with this machine. So you really, to get the best pricing information, need to go to your local John Deere dealership, get the best price that you can on the machine, see if there are any incentive programs out there, any type of discount programs that you may qualify for, to make sure that you're getting the best price. Then also ask about that warranty and look into the Power Guard warranty program through John Deere so that you can add that additional warranty to your machine if that's something that you think you're going to need. So guys, I hope this video helped you out. I hope that you liked this video. If you did, we just ask you to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Also guys, if you are looking for more videos like this, or just more videos over John Deere equipment in general, make sure to check out the rest of the channel. And as always guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Hey guys, make sure to check out this cool video and this one. Buy your parts right up here and subscribe right here.